Ed Higgins here at Activate Now, Chief Correspondent. I am here with the Oglala Lakota Elder. We are talking about what happened today. So can you give us an idea of what happened and kind of go through today's events?
Okay, we made the decision to stay here in camp and do this, what was that, Charles, you called it, a peaceful, passive resistance. We were going to do the passive resistance, so different people wanted to be a part of it, and there was a possibility we might be arrested, and so we got ready for that. They were supposed to show up at 2 o'clock, and it wasn't until 4:30 that they started trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do up on the hill, but we stayed in camp ready to do the passive resistance, and it didn't happen. And what happened after that, we took a treaty stand, okay, our camp, Cheyenne River North Camp, and we took a treaty stand here, and we had our signs out, treaty territory, and so finally they came down. They sent a woman down, she was from California, and she talked to us and back and forth about what they were saying and what we were saying. So we told them we took the treaty stand, that the Army Corps of Engineers did not have any land in treaty territory. I told her where the treaty started from the mouth of the Missouri River down to the south shores of the Platte River, Nebraska, across east and crossed at Omaha and what is now Omaha and Council Bluffs, and then followed the east bank of the river clear back to the mouth of the Missouri, and that was treaty territory. And that this Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868 was ratified by Congress on April 29th, 1868, and that we are a sovereign nation. That was the agreement. Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868 is a nation-to-nation peace treaty, and yet in 1876 they came after us at Little Bighorn. And then we won that war too. We won the Red Cloud War, which led to the Treaty of 1868, and then we won at Little Bighorn. And we weren't annihilated. They planned to come and wipe us out so nobody would be alive to talk about the treaty. And after they came back to the reservations, the Army were here waiting for the people. They fenced us in, which is now reservations. Those are prison camps. And when Standing Rock happened, we declared our sovereignty. We are a sovereign people. So we took the treaty stand on this issue that the Army Corps of Engineers is not a state, it's not a country that we can negotiate with. We never negotiated treaties with the Army Corps of Engineers because they're not a country. And they claim that they own this land that we put Oceti-Sakowin on. And we're here only in peaceful, spiritual, nonviolent action to protect our water and our lands, and that we know what we're doing is trying to protect the people who not only who live in the treaty territory, but as long as the Missouri River is flowing, it's going to take any kind of oil spill, and it will affect a lot of people. Not only the lives of the people who live in treaty territory, but everyone. So we were at a standstill. It was a kind of impasse, and I told them I could not negotiate what we're doing here. Sioux tribe, and I trust him because he was an activist, and I know the IRA government is illegal because every act of Congress, and including the Wheeler-Howard Act, which gave us a tribal government, is under the Department of Interior with the Bureau of Indian Affairs as our gatekeepers or our wardens. That's how I call them. And we were prisoners of war for over 140 years. But our tribal council, they're all still part of Oceti-Sakowin, and hopefully they'll stand and support Harold in whatever he's trying to do for our people, because at this time he knows and he remembers that he is Oceti-Sakowin, and he's taken a treaty stand with us, and he's been negotiating on our behalf since September that I know of, and he's still doing it. So we called him and asked him to come and negotiate with the Army Corps of Engineers or the Sheriff's Department, so we have another night. We weren't arrested, but there's a meeting set up for tomorrow, possibly at 9 o'clock in the morning. Harold will be here, and we're encouraging people to attend this meeting and talk about this issue. But basically what he's doing is he's also taken a treaty stand. I hope other tribal members, Chechichakoin, can come and listen, because we were raised in Catholic boarding schools and other types of boarding schools where we were treated so badly and called pagans and savages that people were ashamed to talk about being Indian, and none of our people ever were told that there was a treaty involved here. I was raised on a treaty. My father talked about the treaty almost every time I rode with him until I memorized it, and then he told me to tell my children, so they memorized it. And since my grandfather was also a treaty signatory representing Mahbia Luta on this issue, being sovereign, that my son Charles has a right to step into my place, because I've been speaking at treaty council meetings also. But now that he's old enough to take over, I'm more than honored to step back and just be another elder. But they were negotiating with me. And I want all the women across this country to know that our people are a matriarchal society. We choose our leaders, we choose our chiefs, we choose our headmen, and it's time that we all stood up and went back to choosing our leaders again. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.